What is up, Pats Nation? It is Patriots Global back here with another video, and in today's video, I'm going to be explaining to you guys why the New England Patriots have the best running back core in the NFL and why it is so beneficial for them and why exactly Bill Belichick is really trying to vamp up the running back core. Now, I want to start off by saying that when I say the Patriots have the best running back core, I don't mean they have individually the best running back in the NFL. Now, the Patriots do have some of the best running backs in the league in, guys like Sony Michel and a James White, more top-notch, top-tier elite running backs, although they are not the best running backs. Those are more like the Saquon Barkleys, and that's something you can't even argue with. When we say core, we are talking about all the running backs put together to put together a group of running backs for a specific team. So for the Patriots, their running back core would consist of guys like James Devlin, James White, Sony Michel, Rex Burkhead, Damian Harris. Just all those guys would make up the running back core. It's not one specific guy. And really, it's a very smart thing, and I'm more proud to say that my team has a better running back group than just an individual running back. And that is so beneficial for the team because unlike a team, let's take the Giants for instance. The Giants have one of the best running backs in the NFL, if not the best running back in Saquon Barkley. Okay, but the thing is you look at their other running backs and they're subpar. They're average to below average running backs. You just have the one guy in Saquon Barkley. But the thing is that when you are constantly using one guy and relying on one guy throughout the entire game, the opposing defense kind of can catch on to the rhythm that the running back is portraying throughout the game. But on the other side, you're also looking at that the running back starts to lose energy. He starts to lose his elusiveness as the game goes on, because if you're constantly using the same guy, he's just going to run out of energy. It's just like a car. If you're going to constantly use a car and run the car down, it's not going to perform as well as it did when you originally had it. With the Patriots, you already have a group of very top tier running backs. Again, in Sony Michel, James White, and you have a lot of really nice depth pieces in Rex Burkhead. You have an underrated fullback in James Devlin, and then you have a guy in Damian Harris who could be another top-notch guy to add to Sony Michel and James White. But the best thing is that the Patriots use them in a rotation. It's not constantly one guy getting the snaps unless all the other guys are injured, but usually it's a bulk. It's you come in your certain packages, you come in certain circumstances. So if it's more of a passing play, they're going to put in a James White. If it is a goal line type of run, they're going to either do a Sony Michel or James Devlin, possibly even a Rex Burkhead. But the point is they have this rotation, so each running back does not get tired. They don't get tired throughout the game, so each running back keeps his fluidity and he keeps his energy up throughout the entire game because he's not being used on every single snap, so he's not getting dragged down the entire time. So that's hard for the opposing defense to actually stop the running game then, because one, they can't pick up on the running back's rhythm as each running back is different and they're coming in different packages. They can't keep up with everyone. But also, again, these running backs aren't getting tired because they're constantly getting switched out with other guys, while the defense is going to be the same defense. Sony Michel, James White, Rex Burkhead, Devlin, they were all a part of the 2018 rushing attack, as well with Harris, who was obviously the third-round pick that the Patriots added, and they also added former running back Brandon Bolden to the backfield after his one-year stint with the Miami Dolphins, but put them together and they are giving the Patriots the deepest running back group in the entire NFL. Now, I have heard people actually saying that the Patriots have the second best. Some people have put the San Francisco 49ers group above the Patriots, and I will admit the San Francisco 49ers do have a nice group of running backs. Adding guys like Tevin Coleman They added some nice pieces, but I still don't think it is what the Patriots have. I still think the Patriots are number one, but I guess it all comes down more so to opinion. But I think one of the even bigger things is even if you look at last season, Tom Brady did not have really an impressive wideout or necessarily even an impressive tight end, as Gronk was pretty much a shell of himself this past season. So it was really being relied on his running backs to do multiple things, whether that's catching passes out of the backfield, going deep, or just doing the classic thing and running the ball. And as we all know, since Tom Brady has taken over, the Patriots have really been known for being a pass-heavy team because they have Tom Brady. But recently, they've really tried to balance it out and become a equal team when it comes to passing the ball and running the ball. And actually, the stats I'm going to talk about in a second, and I will try to put them up on the screen for you guys, is that when the Patriots equally run the ball, and when it comes to passing and running, you see that they have a lot more success on the season. So if you look at the 2014 season, when the Patriots went and they won Super Bowl 49, they ran the ball 41% of the time and passed the ball 58% of the time. Then you go to 2015, where they lost the AFC title game. They ran the ball just 36% of the time, as where they passed the ball 63% of the time. Going to 2016, the Patriots won Super Bowl 51. They ended up running the ball 46% of the time while passing the ball 53%. Move to 2017, the Patriots lose Super Bowl 52. They drop the amount of percentage they ran the ball. They ran the ball just 41% that year while passing 58%. Then you move to this past season, 2018. The Patriots bump up their running game again. Not as much as 2016, but they still bumped it up fairly higher as they did in 2017. But the Patriots went and they won Super Bowl 53, running the ball 44% of the time and passing the ball 55% of the time. So really, it just goes to show that the Patriots really need to have a balance between passing the ball and running the ball. And it comes back to really giving Tom Brady a break, taking some of the pressure off of him. If Brady's having to throw the ball 24/7, his arm's going to get sore. He's going to get tired. It's going to be a tough thing. He's an aging quarterback. That's inevitable. It's going to happen. It's just the truth. So you do want to take some of that weight off of him, and you want to keep his arm fresh. And if you can do that, then his passes are going to be more accurate. They're going to be stronger. So when he is passing, it is going to be at a high elite level. What I expect the Patriots to do this upcoming season for the 2019-2020 season is that I think the Patriots will be pretty 50-50. I don't think they will be exactly 50-50, obviously. I think they will run the ball a little bit more than they did this year, but I still think they will pass the ball just a little bit more, a little more than 50% of the time they will pass the ball. But I think you will see an uprise just a little bit in the amount that they run this year versus the amount they ran last year. If you just look at the personnel investments that the Patriots have used the past couple years in players like Sony Michel and Damian Harris in the last two drafts. Keep in mind, the Patriots picked Sony Michel in the first round, and then the following year they picked Damian Harris in the third. Those are pretty fairly high picks to get back-to-back running backs. So it just proves that the Patriots are trying to change the game, and they are trying to do something different, and it shows that they are willing to run the football in a time when passing is really a preferred method of moving the ball in the league. That has become a very big thing now in NFL, where teams are trying to throw the ball downfield, get crazy quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes doing crazy things, having guys like Tyreek Hill, so that they can get, a 50-yard bomb on just one play of the drive. But as we all know, the Patriots really like to switch things up. They like to do something different than the rest of the entire NFL is doing. And while everyone has decided to start moving to the passing lane like the Patriots have done, the Patriots are now switching to the running lane. But establishing the run game is also helping the Patriots defense, and it's helping them win games, and not just by helping them put points up on the board. It is actually helping them to slow down some of the NFL's most prolific offenses in the league as the season progresses. The Patriots controlled their time of possession and overall tempo in each of their 3 playoff games because of how they ran the ball. The Patriots won these games. The Patriots got to the Super Bowl and won. 1, because of defense, obviously, but 2, because of them running the ball. They really milked the clock. They were able to control what they wanted to do. And obviously, none of that can happen unless you have an established running game, if you have good depth at the running back position. Sony Michel developed into a lead back and a playoff hero as he had 6 touchdowns in just 3 postseason games. As we all know, James White already owns the record for most receptions in a Super Bowl, and then Damian Harris is, again, a bit of a surprise pick, but it made a lot of sense as in college he was a running back that averaged more than 6.4 yards per carry. And then you have James Devlin, who is just such an unsung hero, and a lot of you guys have even noticed that, but I still don't even think enough people understand what he does. Just the fact that he can be such an important blocker, but also be a battering ram space clearer and short route specialist that he is. He can do so many things, and he was a very important part to our piece last year, and he will be an even important piece to us getting back to the Super Bowl this year. Sony Michel almost eclipsed 1,000 yards on his rookie season, despite missing quite a few games because of injury. He missed the beginning of the season, and as we all know, he didn't play preseason. So even the first couple games that he came into the regular season, that was basically his preseason. Never played a snap in the NFL, so he was just figuring things out. Then he had a couple of issues along the way throughout the season, but if Sony Michel can stay healthy and he can stay consistent, and going into a second year, he could just be straight deadly. Then again, you have guys coming in like a Damian Harris, and the Patriots running back core, you cannot even argue that they are one of the best, if not the best, in the NFL. But that is it for today's video. What are your guys' thoughts on the Patriots running back core? Let me know in the comments below. Also, make sure you guys like and subscribe. This helps me, the channel, and even you guys out very, very, very much. Make sure you guys share this video with everybody who knows we can go to the Patriots Global family. And other than that, I will catch you guys in another video.